EuroTrump is a 90-minute-long documentary which follows Geert Wilders' campaign for Prime Minister of the Netherlands during the Dutch general election 2017 and compares him to the US President Donald Trump. It was directed by Stephen Robert Morse and Nick Hampson and co-written by Maria Spinger. Background and production. Geert Wilders, a right-wing politician in the Netherlands, decided to run for Prime Minister of the Netherlands in the Dutch general election 2017. Stephen Robert Morse was fascinated by this, particularly after American politician Donald Trump's successful presidential election and the United Kingdom leaving the European Union. He, along with Nick Hampson and Maria Spinger, decided to make a documentary which follows Wilders' campaign and compares him to Donald Trump. Wilders was the first big election in the world after Trump, which is what drew us to the project in the first place. We wanted to make a movie about an election that involved an outsider, someone from the traditional right wing, Hampson said. Stephen Robert Morse and Nick Hampson co-directed the documentary, and Maria Spinger co-wrote it. Frankie Costley, a journalist, was the co-producer, and the soundtrack was composed by Harry Davidson, a music scholar from the University of Oxford. The filming began in December 2016, a couple of days after a trial where Wilders was convicted of hate speech, which concluded with the judge, Hendrik Steenhuis, deciding that the court would not impose any punishment on Wilders following the trial. The makers of the documentary wanted to learn the details of Wilders' viewpoint and engage it, despite disagreeing with his ideas. The Dutch press were not supportive of the documentary. However, Morse stated, "I think that's an ignorant approach. You should try understand the people who disagree with. If you don't have an in-depth understanding of someone, it makes it very challenging to understand their viewpoint if you don't understand where those views came from." Morse stated that throughout the whole production time span, the production team applied the lessons they learned at the said business school. Morse thought that even though Wilders had such strong beliefs politically, he was a likable person. At their first meeting for the documentary, Wilders and Morse made each other laugh often, despite Morse expecting Wilders to be a monster. The documentary follows Wilders' campaign and provides an up-close view of him, discussing what his ideas are politically, including clearing Islam from the Netherlands and shutting down all mosques, as well as providing information about himself, such as talking about his 2 cats and describing himself as a spoiled child. The documentary also discusses how Wilders constantly has strict security around him and how it affects him. Morse describes the comparison between Wilders and Trump as ironic due to how little they have in common. Morse thought that his work producing Amanda Knox allowed Wilders to trust him more. Many journalists would have a much more difficult time getting up close to Wilders. The show premiered on Hulu in June 2018. References. Further reading. EuroTrump Film Review. The Hollywood Reporter. Retrieved 2018 10-20.